Hi, I'm Kat, and this is today's tarot. So we have a lot of movement happening today, or so it seems. The first card that we have is the Six of Wands, and this is an opening card that's speaking to some transition that we're having out of an experience or either out of a group of people or toward a new adventure in life. The character that's in this card is riding on top of a horse, and behind them is a group of folks that are all standing with their wands. So it's telling of this embarking into a new area or a new project in our lives and having the support of people or having that energy of leaving a group of people as being the impetus for that movement. Now, the second card that we have for today is our challenge card, which is the Judgment card. It is a major arcana card, which speaks to life lessons that we are working through that aren't something that we can just kind of like turn a shoulder to and ignore. So the Judgment card is an awakening, a realization of sorts. It's like seeing everything in a new light, and with that new understanding, having to make hard choices based on that new understanding. It's a card that's associated with Pluto, which is a planet that's all about transformation, a transformational force that you can't really go back from. And so this challenge, it may be speaking to that. We may have had a certain amount of comfort in certain areas of our lives, and this transformation is shifting us into a new area that's forcing us to have to let go of some things. Now, how we're going to work through that challenge, we have some more wands. We have the Eight of Wands, which, if you're looking at the card or just listening, it's 8 wands that are flying through the air. And it's speaking to this energy of everything being up in the air. There's a lot of things that are still unknown. There's a lot of things that still need to be defined in the future as time progresses. And so the way to work through the challenge of transformation is just to show up in every single day with your heart forward and the best sense of your character and how you want to show up in life in general. Now, it's important to remember that it's only when these 8 wands land that we'll really have clarity after we've been through the situation. But the best way to work through a challenge is to be present with it, right? Like, if you get washed down a river, this is just, figuratively speaking, but if you get washed down a river, it's not really useful to just like be stuck in the thoughts of where you were before you got washed down the river, right? It's more useful to actually be present with where you're at so you can dodge boulders and grab onto things that you need to and watch your footing and make sure you don't get scraped up, right? So being present is ultimately what's going to help us through this transformation and this change that we're working through. Now, the overall card that we have for today, or the outcome, is more wands. We have a 9 of Wands card, which is pictured as 8 wands being in the background and a person standing in the foreground holding a wand, looking a bit beat up with some bandages wrapped around them. And so this is telling us that, you know what, we're going to get through it. We may have to go through situations that aren't necessarily fun or may bruise our ego or maybe our flesh, like just speaking of life, that's what happens, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna triumph through it, and it's important to learn from your experiences as you're going through them so that you can actually gather something of value for yourself that gets you through and into the next venture. So ultimately today the message is a lot of movement, a lot of transformation is happening right now. Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn still. It's the last planet that's in the sign of Capricorn, but it is experiencing some transits and aspects with some other planets. So we're still experiencing that transformational force in that area of Capricorn in our lives. So just keep that in mind as you go through things. In general, people, at least in my life, have likened, bad things happening to people as being karmic or, some some fated thing, and I just want to remind people that life is life, and we can't really judge what's good or bad in someone's life. We can just witness how they move through it, and ultimately how people move through the trials of life is what shapes us and inspires us in times of darkness. So keep shining your light. I'll keep shining mine, and hopefully this world will get brighter because of it. I send you so much love, and I will see you again tomorrow. Mwah. Bye-bye.